Hello and welcome to the next episode of the £500 DIY micro camper conversion. So just to recap where I'm up to at this point, I've already installed the sound deadening on the van throughout the panels and done some work on the ceiling as well. Then on top of that, did install the thermal liner, which again adds even more sound deadening properties to the panel booms around the sides. I found from when I was stripped this back from the previous owner, it did already have some thermal liner in the ceiling, so I decided to leave that as was. And then the next step that I decided was to use the Kiravans thermal blanket. So I've already insulated the top halves of the rear barn doors and the sides, and to some extent some of the lower voids across the driver's side of the van. So in this video, what I'll be mostly getting into for the course of this Saturday is most likely finishing the thermal blanket. I've got some more product which I decided to buy from B&Q just for quickness. I actually ran out of the thermal blanket that Kiravans provided. So I've managed to insulate half of the ceiling already, and I've just got this back part of the ceiling to do, and then the remainder of this from B&Q will just fill in the voids. So with some of the offcuts which I was making from when I was cutting around the trim of the doors and whatnot, I did use those offcuts to fill the hollow voids already. So I'll just finish doing that thermal blanket lining on the ceiling, and then I'll finish with the rest of this in the panel voids throughout the van. Then what I'm going to be doing subsequently is fitting this gold liner, which is quite thin, but it does mold easily to the contours in the van floor. So that will be getting done today. And then subsequently, what I have already had arrive, but I'll save for a future video, is some cabling. So this is 2mm twin core cabling, which I'm thinking at the moment, because the ceiling will go up and get carpeted on the ply which I originally had, in the first instance, I'll need to run the electrical cabling. So I have also got in a box that arrived yesterday from Kiravans 4 puck spotlights. So I'm thinking I'm going to put 2 towards the back here and then 2 towards the middle of the van on the ceiling as well. But obviously that cabling needs to be ran first. Now I have decided I'm going to run the leisure battery that I already have from a caravan that we used to own. I'm actually going to put that towards the seating area rather than under the seat. I would have preferred to go under the seat, but the battery that I have, it's 110 amp hour battery, is too large to go under the front passenger seat, which probably makes the most sense to put in. And it, subsequently in the future, if I were to upgrade to a lithium battery, and I probably will, then that will be the new home for that battery at that later point. But as this is a budget build and I just want to use what I have rather than spending unnecessary money, what I'll be doing is housing the battery in that seating area, which many people do. And alongside that will probably go the diesel heater as well. So I did make a video on the diesel heater I've chosen and the unboxing. I'll link the video just up here if you want to check that out. So let's get into it. So the first part of the process I'm going to be doing today is finishing off with the thermal blanket, as I said. So I'm just going to unwrap this and then just show you the steps that I'll take to fill this void in the ceiling. And it's exactly the same as what I did for the panels. It's just a matter of rolling this out. It's quite a thin layer of, it's almost like carpet material, but it's made from recycled bottle plastic. Cut that to roughly the right size, with then the application of contact adhesive in a spray. You spray on the two sides, so on the surface you wish to mount that to and the material that you're wishing to apply, and then you put them together and it does bond almost immediately. So what I'll do is I'll just capture on film and I'll speed up the process for you. I'll capture just finishing off this ceiling part here before then moving on to the next step, which I'm getting really excited about. So this was just from B&Q. This is has similar properties to the thermal blanket that I bought from Kiravans. This is actually 37 millimeters, and I think the Kiravans one was 35 millimeters thickness. This is a 6 meter roll, but not actually as wide. But I figured for the amount of coverage that I've got to do, this will probably suffice. If I decide that I need more to fill in the voids, I'll just pop back to B&Q later today and just pick up another roll just to finish that off, because the last thing I want to do is end up with empty hollow gaps. So you can see, for example, if you can see that in the lower half of that barn door, that's not actually got any coverage at all. But that's what I need to just get finished before I start the next step. Get rid of my rubbish. Apologies for the wind, but I want to get this done, right? Been quite fortunate today. It's not too warm at the minute, but it is dry and it is bright. So this may take me more strips than the Kiravans version did, because this is narrower. The Kiravans version was wide enough to do literally a whole panel, and you cut literally a length of about, I don't know, 40-50 centimeters in height and just stuck it on. This is probably going to take about maybe 3 or 4, maybe 5 even strips to just finish the ceiling panel right here. But what I'll actually do is I'll move the camera, so I'll pause for a second and we'll be right back. Welcome back. So, thermal liner on the floor here. All I'm going to do is quickly take a check of the distance between this support to the end that I'm wishing to line. So that is roughly about 58 centimeters. So I'm just going to cut 58 centimeter piece, offer it up to the panel, just make sure I've got the measurements right, make any trim adjustments that I may need for where the body of the van does alter in shape. And then it'll be just a quick application of the contact adhesive. I may need to go and get some more. I've got more in the house. To this point, for what I've lined so far, I think I've used just one other bottle and maybe about half to 3/4 of this one. So I may find that I've run out, but like I say, I've got more. So what did I say? It was about 58 centimeters. So you don't need any specialist tools really, just scissors or Stanley knife just to cut that, not a problem. Just move that out of the way. So, got my piece here, just offering it up. That will actually fit quite nicely. May need to just make some minor tweaks in the... No, I think that will be fine. Because once the roof is actually offered up, and although it's going to have the cabling, it is very thin, it's only 2mm cabling for the lights. I don't think I'm going to have any other cabling running up here. So once the ply is actually offered up, I think it will compress this a little. And it will keep me nice and snug when I actually get to use the van, which would be nice. So, just move that. And settle all the coolant and the aerosol. It's no different to any other aerosol. Now I figure there may be some comments or thoughts I should absolutely be wearing a mask, but given that I'm at the back of the van, it's wide open, it's breezy, I'm not going to wear a mask because I'm only spraying quite a small piece really. So if I just mark as much as I need to spray for this first piece, just make a mark in the liner here so I know what I'm spraying. So the advice I've seen is to, maybe I've slightly oversprayed there, but it's fine. The advice that I've seen online to date has been spray a layer as consistently as you can or evenly as you can in the area that you wish to cover, and do the same on the material that you are offering up. See, this can's already starting to fade, but I should be able to get this piece at least done. Give it a moment, and this should start to go tacky, and it's only really when you bond the two sections of the materials together that actually does stick. So what I'll do is now offer this up to the ceiling panel. And press it into place as evenly as you can, as best you can. There's no real science or tricky method behind it. You're just dropping that up there. It looks like a bit of a winter wonderland in here, I was saying to my wife. All the white panels, but it is noticeably warmer. So from every layer that I've applied, just from the sound deadening and then the thermal liner, I have noticed, not really being out driving in the van, but just from being in the van, I have noticed that it has been considerably warmer in this back cabin area. So it's certainly doing its job, and it isn't finished yet, because on top of that, there's going to be ply liner, there's going to be carpet, and then obviously there's going to be the furniture added at a later stage as well. So this piece done, and then what I'll probably do is I'll pause the video at this point because it's exactly the same process for the rest of it, but I'll come back once this ceiling is done, and then I'll give a bit more of a narrative as to exactly what's next. So see you in a mo. Welcome back. So the ceiling is now done. Got this thick, slightly thicker insulation from B&Q. Was it Dial product, I think it was called. So that's all filled in these voids here. The top half of the panels are all done. And I've even done the lower side of this door and that door. Sorry, there would be a door there, but there isn't on this version, but there is on the passenger side. So I really just need to now fill the voids over the wheel arches in the back here and the lower half of the barn doors. So what I'll do is I'll just move the camera and just finish that job with you. It may speed up the process on the time lapse somewhat, just to get that finished. Before then, I think we can start on the floor. So let's move you now. That's the camera moved. So what I'll probably do just to finish off in the back is to fill the void in the barn door. So I don't believe this needs to be particularly complex or sound, because it is going to be covered and carpeted, and also might need to have access to the electrics at some point in the future. So what I may contemplate doing is filling the void without the adhesive, so it can be removed in the future, and just make some tactical cuts to work around the shape of the door and the mouldings on the inside. Obviously there's cabling as well, so I need to come around that. Be careful not to dislodge, disconnect or break anything. And if I want any extra adding, I can just use the other product I've got there just to fill in those gaps. There's a few spots I might like a bit more, so I can come back to that. But all in all, I feel like that will be fine. Budget build, not taking too long. Yeah, it'll be fine. And I'll just repeat the process on the other side, and then I'll probably come back once I'm ready to start the floor. So yeah, see you in a moment. Welcome back. So now that the lining is done and I've given it a quick hoover, the next step I'm going to be getting into is fitting this floor liner. So it is quite thin, but it's floor lined, and it does need to be stuck down with a contact adhesive. So I'm just going to cut some pieces that are roughly to the length of the van, offer that up. Make sure I've got probably 2 widths worth, which will cover the floor, and then I'm going to start gluing that down. Because this is so thin, it said that it will mould to the contours on the floor, the bumps and the ridges that are on the floor. So when that's glued down and that's given some time, the plywood can just sit back on top of that once the carpet's in, ready for whatever's going to go on top, whether that's vinyl, laminate, whatever. Not too sure, I haven't thought too much about that yet. Seems like way off, but actually it'll probably come around quite quick. So yeah, cut some lengths of this, get myself ready for the next step. I'll just pause the video, move the camera to the front of the van again, and we'll get that started. Okay, so let's roll this out. Ready for some cuts. I'm just going for rough measurement here because I'm going to actually glue it down, and then once it's set, make my trim cuts later. So need to be sure I've got enough width that comes around this wheel arch and somewhat into the sliding door area. So I'm going to fold this over a little. To give me that width that I'm going to need. Make sure it's square. I can do that, marrying it up against the ridges on the floor. Let's come back a touch. Should be fine. And I'm just going to cut on the outside of the rubber trim so I can trim it back a little bit more later. That should be fine, and I'll just repeat exactly the same to get the same length to fit down this side. Probably have to trim the width, of course. All good with that. actually give you tons, and I'm wondering whether it's worth doing the wheel arches. Don't know. Longer than I need, that's fine. So yeah, hoovered it already, and it's really worth doing because there's a lot of fibres that come from the thermal blanket that just drop. So already been across that with the Henry Hoover, ready for sticking. So yeah, next step, glue. Because of this overlap, what I might do is start on this side, so when I've got the next section, I can overlap this foil to cover the join. So I'll just fold that out my way. And actually start this side as opposed to the opposite side I measured first. So lined up. I may do as well is use my wallpaper roller. Just to encourage those bumps in the floor to be moulded to around the sheet of the floor covering. So at this point, what I'll probably do is I'll go quiet, speed up the video so the process is shown. I don't need to talk through it. Enjoy. Won't be long. So what I think I'll do at this point is I'll let that set. I'm gonna pop out for a little bit and then I'll crack on with the final piece, and then that hopefully will be the floor done once it's all trimmed around the wheel arch and the barn doors and the side and everything. So yeah, and then the next step, probably thinking about carpet and getting the wiring in for the LED lights up first before I get that sorted. So hope you've enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll be back in a moment. So welcome back. So what I actually finished was lining the driver's side of the floor. That's now set. I've had a bit of a break, got my coffee. And what I've done is I've just taken the other side piece that I had and just ran that down in the remaining gap and just scored a line around the wheel arch and just trimmed that soon after. So I've made it just a very rough cut, so the next part of the video I'll just be getting that down. I'll speed up the video footage just to get that done quickly, get that fixed down, and then we'll get into the next step. So let's crack on. What I'd also decided to do was this foil overlap is actually just stick that down and over just to keep those joins covered and sealed. So quick layer of contact adhesive and that will go down next. So let's bring you over. So liner is down, this overlap to keep those joints sealed. I've just got to trim around the edges of the wheel arches, the side door there, the recess on the opposite side, and around this wheel arch behind me. So crack on with that. So now that's all trimmed up and tidied, what I'm actually thinking is I'm going to get the ply floor down and just rest that in place, because actually when I'm thinking about the next step, which is going to be some wiring and some carpet, I don't need to go right to the floor, particularly around the wheel arches, because I'm going to refit the trim to the rear sides over the wheel arches. So I'll just carpet a little bit underneath them so that the trim can go back on. Obviously the same will be true there, because there is a plastic piece to go there. So this whole top half will be carpeted, hopefully today, if not tomorrow, but I'll include that in the same video that you're watching now. So probably just get the floor down and then start to reassess what's coming next. So let's go get the floor. So when the last owner put this in, it doesn't actually match the floor in its entirety. One sec. No, it doesn't. Don't think I'm going to cut a full fresh piece. I think what I'll actually decide to do is fill the voids with the same thickness and join them, because it's going to be covered anyway. It just needs to not move. But I'll leave it on for now because it allows me to work on a stable floor rather than hurting my knees on the ridges in the floor, which is what's been happening so far. So I'll leave that down and then I'll pause the video and I'll just get myself prepared for starting carpeting this one side. So good progress so far, pleased. Let me know in the comments how you think this is going. Is there anything that you might have done differently? There probably is. This is a budget build, it's my first time. I'm sure those of you that are more experienced or maybe watched more how-to videos will probably have some insights. I'll be interested in your thoughts, so let me know what you think. Okay, so moving on with the project. So now that this is all cleaned up and ready to be carpeted, I did actually have arrive. I've not unboxed it, I'm not showing the unboxing because it's not that significant, but what I have got is now my grey carpet. So I ordered the recommended, I think it was 8 meters for this van, but it might actually be a little bit too much. So that's going to be completely fine because I can later keep this for something in the future, or if I want to redo the headliner. You saw in the previous video, that's currently got black LEDs on the soft carpet that's there. So I could maybe redo the headliner. I've noticed already above that headliner, the previous owner did actually already put the thermal lining behind it, so that's a bonus. So I won't need to redo that. So most likely going to end up with some excess. Not a problem, I'll just keep it for something in the future. So I'm going to start with this driver's side first because it's probably the easiest in the sense that there isn't a sliding door like there is on the opposite side. So it's a straight piece here. What I'll probably do is come just behind the B-pillar trim, coming across all the way to the back and then wrap around to the rubber trim that goes on the rear doors. But in terms of how I'm going to go to here, because I plan on refitting, as I said, the plastic trim that exists here, and the light will go back in. Obviously there's a 12-volt socket there which runs off the regular battery, as well as the connection for the torch. I've got the torch, so that might be a useful addition to have on those dark nights as well. So I'm probably going to carpet at this end to just under where that trim piece would sit, and I can see that because of the holes that the little plastic clip connectors clip into. And I'll probably do the same back here because there is a plastic recess which goes under the side, which is opposite the side entry. So I don't need full piece, but what I'll probably do is come up to the top here, just above where the ply on the ceiling will actually go back into. And I've decided not to run the cabling for the lights because when I was thinking about it just now, the cabling for the LEDs, which is only really what I'm worried about at this point, can run down the sides of the trim that exists on the B pillars either side, and of course be ran over the ply which is going up into the roof. So in terms of getting cabling up and across, no brainer, it doesn't really have to wait or be done before the carpet goes in. So with this grey carpet, what I'll do is I'll get started. I'll speed the footage up where probably necessary, but from the videos that I've been watching on folks fitting the carpet, it's recommended to just get the top piece level and straight before then tackling the rest, to ensure that you get nice even sort of stretch of the carpet, because I don't really want wrinkles where I can help it may happen. It's my first time. I'm not always good at things like this, but I'm going to give it my best shot anyway. But I've got the good carpet at least, and I'm going to try and make sure, as is recommended, to always have the carpet running the same way, so I can see which way the roll is going. So I'll just keep the roll running from front to back as opposed to going up and down, just so that I'm not even sure of the word, but it's just that the texture of the carpet appears the same throughout the van, as opposed to it moving in different directions and looking a little bit off. I may not notice it, some people may, don't know. So we'll see how we go. Let's crack on. So I've got the few bits that I need to get going. The carpet, of course, the contactor DC, I've got a few cans here. I've got more in the house when I do eventually run out. And then what was recommended again from other folks that have fitted is some piece of, some plastics which commonly are used for, in my case, removing bits of car trim, so things that can lever behind the clips that you often get throughout the car, and these are good for digging into those crevices and having those contours stretched into the carpet at the point that you're ready to stretch it out to mold perfectly. Like for instance on the wheel arch there are contours and grooves that you'd probably want to show, but I'm not going to carpet that, so it's not really an issue, but I still want to get my corners and my edges sort of tight and as uniform as I can. So with that all spoken of, hate to say it, but let's get started. A little bit nervous. So I'm going to roll my piece out. Another recommendation that was made is to not cut too early, because by the time you come round the edge of the back doors, you could end up being too short. So I want to try and avoid that. So I'm just going to remove the rubber trim in advance, because I'll carpet up to it. So now that that's out of my way, that's perfectly fine. Nervous is an understatement. So I'm going to leave myself plenty of excess at both the top, because it's going to be hidden under the ply anyway, and some bits that I can easily trim and then tuck into the B-pillar plastics as well. So if we assume that is, and it is, a straight edge, offer that up. I might even hang my excess over the back door, or get a clip even. Yeah, I'll get a clamp to hold that down. So just a couple of clamps on the door just to hold that end up so I can manipulate this a bit better, because I don't want to start trimming it off the roll just yet. Just recommendations, tips from folks I've seen that have done this before that are far more experienced than me. So I think what I'll do is, if I spray and prepare what would be above these if it was a TP version, the van, get this line set, and then I should be able to start working my way down, manipulating, stretching, pulling, and we'll go. We should be good. There it goes. Figure a little more on this starting piece because everything comes from that. Get this right and the rest hopefully will be a bit more straightforward. Straight away I've underestimated because the door comes across, so I need a bit more give, and I've got the length spare, so I'm gonna fold that over and start a little bit here to give me that flexibility later. Reasonable start. So I've just moved those clips to hold the carpet against the end of the van there. And I've got this whole length that I'm not going to need it all of, as I was saying, but I can start to come down the van now, working around the various shapes, encouraging the carpet in with my trim tools where need be, but hands are equally just fine to push and pull on the carpet in a little bit of a fashion. Okay. Right. Next step, more of the same. that's one side virtually done. Obviously I've not trimmed around the back door yet. I'll go and get a fresh blade just to trim that piece off. I need to be sure of exactly where I'm trimming this to the lower side so that it is actually covered by the trim pieces. So I might go and grab the trim pieces out of my other car just so I can offer them up, be sure of the level, and then trim below. So then I can just start tidying up all of the edges, making sure it's as I want it. It's not too bad a finish. It's my first attempt anyway. Probably find that the other side, if I separate both the door and this side panel, it may go somewhat easier because I think I'll be able to trim down quite a lot now that I know a bit more about the method and how the carpet moves. I'll be able to trim a more sizable piece, will be a bit more manageable, so that will be helpful. And then hopefully the sides will get done today, and then on to the next steps, which I'm not entirely sure what they may be. So I'll pause the video for now here. I'll carry on trimming and I'll come right back as soon as all that's done. Thanks. Hello again. So tidied this up, cut to the trim and reapplied the rubber trim around the back of the door, so that's all neatly in. Carpeted around and glued down around the wheel arch, because although I'm fitting the trim, the wheel arch is going to be exposed, so the carpet continues around there. And I've just loosely put in place for the time being these two panels that are going to go back in place. So what I'll probably do, I don't need to do this in daylight hours, so I'll probably just refit those with the clips through the carpet at a later date. They can just rest there and get all connected up with the light as well. And then I'll decide what I'm going to do with that after everything else is done. So ceiling I'm going to leave for the time being because that's going to be ply lined and the carpet will go over that. So I'll hold on that as well for now. But with the time that I've got left for today, I think what I'll do is I'll try and get a bit more on the passenger side done now. So could start around the sliding door because that's quite a small piece because it's got the trim to the lower half again. So we're only talking about a foot by maybe 2.5 to 2 foot wide. So that should be quite a quick fix to do. And then I'll come back and do this longer section, which I think I'm going to take a bit more time over just to get that done. So I'll pause the video again. I'll get started with that and I'll come right back once that's all done. Okay, so quick with this progress actually. It's starting to get a little bit slicker in the application of this carpet, and I guess that's just because I'm getting more familiar with it. So the sliding door now is carpeted and fitted. It works around the trim to the lower half of the door where the handle of course is located. So that panel is ready to go back, but I'll do that a little bit later once the adhesive is set just a bit firmer. Same as with the other side, I'll do them all in one piece. So the remaining piece for the inside, at least for today, is this panel here. So I think what I'll do is I'll take a little break because this is quite hard work, working in such a small space on your knees. So take a bit of a break and then I'll come back to this final piece. So the continuation of this video will be the remaining piece there, which I'll do from top to bottom, including the wheel arch, even though the panel's going back in, same as the opposite side. So good progress I think for a weekend. So with that all said and done, when I'll be back, we'll be cracking on with that. Bye for now. Okay, ready to crack on with the next piece. So as I said, carpeting this, taken the door trim away so I can carpet up to that edge and then refit the trim soon after. The carpet's going to come and wrap around again to the end of the trim here on the back doors as I have done on the opposite side, come over and cover the wheel arch as well. So it's going to be a longish piece but not so wide as the first panel on this side. So let's get the carpet and then we'll crack on. You might be thinking at this stage that I've got so much excess, but actually I don't, because I've still got the back doors to do and I've still got the ceiling to do. So all of that should be enough, with hopefully some spare, but we'll see how it goes. So as before, what I'm probably going to do is clamp this on the back door. Just makes things a little bit more manageable. Let's see how that sits even. Okay. Got my excess to come round. That should be long enough. And obviously, I'm long enough in the length, so I'm going to fold that a bit to be out my way. Should be good. Should be good. So, same as before, just going to spray the top piece, and then once that's hanging, gravity's helping me pull the creases out. I'll carry on. We have joined here, just tap that bit of the roll there, round colours of excess on that. Give that a minute just to go tacky. And that, in the most part, is the first piece. Fortunately, because I have got the door open here, and it only isn't letting more air through, I can actually stand that other side to get under and spray some of the contact adhesive, so that's helpful this time round. possibly gone over the top with the adhesive, but I have that much of it and I'd rather have too much than too little. Obviously all the extra that will be coming off, I can clean with brake cleaner all the excess glue where I may have caught things I shouldn't have done. So I think actually I'm going to call this video a day here. So I just need to find my fresh Stanley blades and trim around just the top here, a little bit on the back door and around this wheel arch section here, and then that's largely carpeted. So join me in the next episode. So what I'll probably be doing there is getting into the lights somewhat and the ceiling, getting that carpeted as well, and then we should at least have the basis of a camper. So hope you've enjoyed the video. Do feel free to like, leave comments, let me know how you're finding this journey. Do you find it interesting? Would you like to see more of specific things? That would be great. And also subscribe, and you won't miss the next and future videos. Take care now. Bye bye.